Welcome back to the Hank Strange Situation, Lifestyles of the Locked and Loaded.
Welcome back to the channel. I'm Hank Strange.
How's it going?
My friend, the late Boy Scout, is here on the hacienda. It's getting a little dark. We've been shooting
and playing and recording and just having fun.
Doing some fun stuff that we can share on both of our channels. If you don't know about the late Boy Scout, go check him out on YouTube at the late Boy Scout.
The late Boy Scout.
Yeah,
that's correct.
There you go. So we're going to talk knives. Basically, I'm going to start off with talking about what I EDC, Shane. So I'm not a big knife guy. I know you do a lot of knife stuff on your channel as well as guns.
That is true.
So I want to talk knives with you, kind of get a primer for what I should be thinking about when I'm looking at knives. And, let's just jump into that.
That's great. Let's do it.
Talking about it. Okay. All right, Scout, let me run down what I carry the most. This is called the Dart, and it's from Fox Knives.
Nice.
Okay. Italian made. Very nice. I got this from G10 Funker Tactical.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy it. It's lightweight. I like the fact that I could just put my pinky in here if I wanted to and pull it out. You know, I know that makes it highly visible, but I like that. And I guess that you can call that a tanto.
Yeah, that'd be a variation of a tanto tip on that.
Which is kind of, something that I like. I just like it for the look. I don't know how practical it is.
Right.
But I like the look of that. So I carry that around a lot. Enjoy using it. Also, I've got this Magnum from Boker. Very small, lightweight. It's got your seatbelt cutter on it and a glass breaker. So
cool.
For me, a knife is an EDC thing. It's utilitarian. So I use it to open boxes and letters and stuff like that. Not really for defense. I guess it could be.
Right,
like
but
as
an added bonus, it's got some multifunction aspects to it, like you said, with that glass breaker and that seatbelt.
Exactly. So if you're worried about getting caught in the car and you can't get out for whatever reason, that's why I would carry something like this. And this one's lightweight to do it.
Cool.
And this is the CRKT. It's a M2102G. Bought this myself. I like the shape of the knife, and it's lightweight again. I like the fact that it's got two ways of locking on there, so it feels really solid to me.
Yep.
To close it down, I need to use both of these. This, I guess it's like a safety on there.
Yeah, basically a safety.
Yeah.
A lock safety.
Yeah, and it's got these milled out circles in here, I guess, which helps with the weight. So I enjoy that.
Yeah.
And this is a tool logic that I stole from another YouTuber, Marty from Talking Lead.
Nice.
So, we shared a hotel room some point, not too long ago. Well, actually, at this point, it's about a year ago. And he left this behind.
Aha.
So I promised him, I was going to send it back to him. He was like, hey, check it out and use it and throw it in a video. So
cool.
There you go. And I do use it sometimes. It's got a light on it and a knife here. So
cool.
I think it's a good thing to have in your EDC a light.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with you on that.
Yeah.
All right. So these are some of the knives that you enjoyed rotating through for everyday carry.
Right. Absolutely.
And as you said, your purpose for an everyday carry knife is very much based on utility.
Yes.
I like that. I agree. I'm very much on board with that. That's kind of what my same philosophy is in regards to knives. But I thought maybe I'd go through a little bit of a primer on what I look for in a knife when it comes to daily carry and utility.
Okay.
Talking about maybe some inexpensive small knives, some more expensive small knives, some inexpensive large knives, and also some less expensive large knives.
Right. Yeah, I would appreciate that because I know you do knives a lot, and you've got, I look at your channel, I listen to what you have to say about knives, and sometimes I get lost, man. I'm like, what do all these things mean? How do I hold them in my head? What should I do when I go into the store and I'm looking for a knife?
For sure. So let's get into some of these and talk about price, talk about size, talk about some of those utility aspects.
Okay.
And what should we start with? Want to go with small and cheap?
Yeah, let's start with small, yeah.
All right, let's go small and cheap, and let's move these guys aside.
Okay, absolutely.
All right.
Make some room here.
So when we're talking small and cheap, let's start with, I think the cheapest one on the table right here is this right here. This is the Rat Model 2.
Okay.
It's got a pretty fast deployment on it. It's not spring assisted, even though it looked like it might be.
Right. Yeah.
It's got AUS 8 steel on it. It does not have G10 handle scales. This is a type of polymer or plastic, but they hold up pretty well, and they offer a little bit of little bit of grip to them as
So
well.
G10 is the texturing that you have on the...
G10 is the type of material, and they'll
Type of
generally
material.
texture it to make it feel a little more grippy in your hand.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is textured as if it's G10, but it's not.
Okay. And
Now-
that's what you consider the top of the line or quality in a feature like that, right? G10.
G10, yeah, you can also go up to micarta or carbon fiber, and we've got at least a carbon fiber that I'll show you here in a little bit.
Okay.
But those get more spendy.
Okay.
And G10 is really good quality, but it's also very affordable.
Okay.
So you don't have to spend a ton of money on it. Like I
Right.
said, though, this is not G10, but you do have four-way repositionable pocket clip, which is a big deal because that means if you're lefty or righty, if you like to carry tip up or tip down, this knife is set to go however you want to do it. Just unscrew that pocket clip, put it where you want it to be.
Move it around.
Yeah, it's good to go.
Okay.
So it's small, it's light, it's very quick in hand, and gets really good work done for not a
check
lot
that
of
out.
money.
Okay, and now you mentioned the steel. How do I think about the steel when people... Because there's so many
Yeah.
different kinds of steel, you know?
There's a ton of different kinds of steels. So remembering the names of them and understanding which ones kind of fall where as far as hierarchy of low quality to high quality is difficult.
Yeah.
But generally the price will give you some clue as to
Of-
how good a quality
Okay.
the steel is.
Okay.
And in this case, you're looking at maybe a $20, $25 knife.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, so it's very
Is it American
affordable.
made?
It is not American made.
Okay.
I think that's Taiwan or China.
Okay.
It should be on here. Looks like Taiwan.
Taiwan.
It's Taiwan
okay.
made. So
But that's not necessarily a bad thing,
it's
right?
not always a bad thing. It's
Okay.
generally it doesn't matter.
Okay.
If the quality's there, the quality's there.
Right. Yeah, I
And-
like it. Lightweight.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. Easy to use.
Yep. As far as a just a lightweight, inexpensive EDC knife, this is very, very near the top of my list, if
Okay.
not at the top of my list.
And what company is it from again?
Ontario or RAT.
RAT,
The RAT
okay.
Model 1.
Rat Model 1. Okay.
Yep.
Very nice.
So there's that one. There's plenty more. This is also a fairly inexpensive one from Kershaw.
Okay.
That's the Kershaw Skyline in 14C28N steel, which is a step above this AOS 8 in my experience. This one does have G10 scales on it. If you hold on to that one, you might feel slightly better grippiness
Oh,
to
I
it.
see. Yeah.
So that
It's like more sandpaper in the
yeah,
realm of
exactly.
sandpaper. Yeah.
Because it's not plastic. It's made of a combination of glass and I think it's a glass / polymer.
Okay.
But whatever the case, it's
Lightweight also here.
lightweight,
Yeah.
It doesn't retain heat or cold, the G10,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's always going to be comfortable in your hand.
I
So
like the blade form here. I don't
Yeah.
know what kind of blade that is exactly, but
just a basic drop point,
Drop
but
point.
it's got a great sweep to it and great shape to it, and it's really classic looking.
yeah.
So this Kershaw Skyline will run you about $30 to $40 depending on where you pick it up.
Okay.
It's good quality. The steel is really good. Stays sharp for a good long time. And again, as an inexpensive folder, I like that one quite a lot. There's one more inexpensive one I'm going to show you. This is a Spyderco. This is the Spyderco Persistance. I get kind of mixed up on some of the names sometimes. But this one is comparable to another one I'm going to show you later. This has 8CR13 MOV steel, which is really comparable to the AOS 8 that you have here. It has
Okay.
G10, which you found on this one.
Right.
And it's also made in China, which that one also is made overseas, not China,
Okay.
but Taiwan.
Okay.
And that one's got great ergonomics, for its price. It's built really well. It's just
Yeah.
a great design overall.
Yeah. I like the thumb.
Yeah, the big thumb hole on there.
Yeah, the thumb hole to
That
get
is-
it out there.
That's what Spyderco is known
Yeah.
for, that great big thumb hole.
Right.
And then you've got that nice ramp on it as well for
Right.
locking your thumb in on the back, and some great jimping on that top
Oh,
there.
okay, right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can do some, cut some pretty hard stuff with that, and your thumb's not going to slip forward. You're not going to lose your grip on it, and it performs just really, really well.
Okay, nice. Should we leave these open?
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
idea.
let's leave these open. Just so while we're talking, folks can see.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, that's something I need to know about, if I decide
Presenting
to do a
knives
video
on
like
video.
this, man. Yeah,
you gotta leave it open, let people see
Yeah.
it. Sexy.
Yeah.
So there's,
Awesome.
this is kind of going. I don't know if I would
We're
put
going
this one.
upscale here, or
We might say
this
that
between?
one is in between these two as far as price, but these are really comparable, so it's kind of hard to say.
Okay.
But those are sort of the small, inexpensive knives. Now let's show you some large, inexpensive knives, and then we'll move up to some of the higher cost knives that we have here on the table. So we showed you the RAT Model 2 before. Did I call it the 1? I hope I called it the 2.
Yeah.
This
Don't
is-
ask me.
This is the Model 1. This is the Rat Model 1 right here.
Oh, okay.
And so the Rat Model 1 is built with...
Step up.
It is actually the one that came first. The 2 came afterwards.
Okay.
But it's basically the
Yeah,
exact same
I can
design.
tell that difference
Yeah.
holding it. Yeah, that's a little bit slipperier.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell
Okay.
when it's not G10.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this one, again, is really inexpensive. Maybe $25, definitely under 30.
Okay. So that would go. This is the Big Daddy.
Yeah, it goes right
Okay.
next to that one as far as cost. They're very closely related, and also you can tell there's this is a scaled down version of that.
Right. I like the fact you've got some paracord on there, but you can do that with either one of these, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And that just helps you. That can help you get it out of the pocket.
Help
or
you
wherever
get it
you're
out of the
keeping
pocket. Maybe you want to use that as a way to store some paracord to keep
Mm-hmm.
on you. This could be a knife that you're going to use for camping or whatever, and you want to keep some of that stuff nearby. So yeah, keeping some paracord on your knife is really handy. Now the other one we're going to move into, might as well put it right next to the Persistence, is the Spyderco Tenacious.
Oh.
Now this is in a special green G10, which may still be available some places, but it was
Okay.
kind of a short
I think
run.
I've seen this one.
Okay.
I've seen this in YouTube videos from someone.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Nice.
And this one, it looks like it would be a perfectly scaled down version or scaled up version of the Persistence,
Right.
but they actually have their own distinct lines and vectors to them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they also at the same time feel extremely related.
Yeah.
Look at the two of them sort of side by side.
And it's
or
not that
stacked.
much heavier.
No,
No.
not a lot heavier. So you're going to get slightly more weight with this one, slightly more, slightly thicker in hand, as the G10 is a little bit thicker on that, as the liners are as well, I think. And so you might get kind of heavier duty work done with this large one, and that's kind of the point of a larger knife versus a smaller knife, is to give you kind of better performance and to kind of be more comfortable in your hand for a longer period of time.
Okay.
But like I said, these two are very comparable in price, very inexpensive. Moving on to the next sort of large inexpensive one is this guy right here from CRKT,
Okay.
and that's the Ken Onion Shenanigan.
Oh, okay.
That also is not G10. That is a composite scale on
Yeah.
that. But Ken Onion did a great job with the just the the curves and the contours of that, and it looks really nice. It folds up pretty nice, but it's also
Right.
locks up nice, and in your hand it forms really nice. Is what I'm
Right.
trying to tell you.
And Ken Onion does a lot of designing of
Yes.
knives, I take it. I've
Ken
heard of
Onion-
him. So
yes, Ken
yeah.
Onion has done a lot of knives for Kershaw in the past. He now exclusively designs his production knives for CRKT, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me on that if I'm wrong.
Okay.
But I think he also still does some custom knives. But the Shenanigan has been out for a good long while.
I like the name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he comes up with fun names for his knives
Yeah.
as well. It's very comfortable in hand, really nice and grippy, given the fact that it's not G10 or anything like that. And the steel on it, I want to say, is AOS 8. Again, the price range on this one is something like $40, maybe a little
Okay.
more,
Yeah.
depending on where you pick it up.
Still reachable. Very
Still reachable, very
Mhm.
reachable. And so there's just a handful of some pretty good, inexpensive knives, both in sort of what I would classify as the EDC category in these smaller ones, and sort of the EDC plus category in these larger ones.
Okay.
And sort of the way I look at that is, an EDC knife is something that's really easy to carry and get some pretty good work done as well.
Okay.
Whereas the EDC plus knife gets great work done and is pretty easy to carry.
Oh, okay.
So
What work does a knife do for you most? And I know I see that when you're testing a knife, you put it through
Yeah.
some serious paces. But what do knives actually do for you in an everyday?
in an
situation?
everyday situation, what I'll typically use my knives for is kind of what everybody else does. I'll cut some boxes and packages open.
Right.
I'll trim some fingernails, random things like that.
Okay.
And I just like having a good quality knife at the ready.
Right.
For the most part, that's the main reason I carry it. I want to have a good cutting tool at the ready wherever I go.
Okay. Agree with you on that.
All right, let's move some of these forward a little bit, and then maybe we'll make some room for some of the nicer, more expensive
Okay, we're stepping
knives.
it up a notch.
All right, let's start with some of the small ones. Let's go to, how about this one? This is the Spyderco Sage 1.
Sage.
The Sage 1 is, part of a lineup of Sage knives. There's a 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I think they might have some other variations from the originals. But this one has your carbon fiber scales, yeah, correct, and S30V steel on it.
Okay, so does that give me more grip? There's a little bit of grip on it.
A little bit of grip.
texture,
I
yeah.
think for the most part, when you're looking at carbon fiber, it's not mainly to have a nicer grip.
Yeah.
It's more or less because you like the look of it.
You like the look. It's kind of high speed,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You know, being
You-
carbon fiber, it's lighter.
Yeah, it's definitely lighter.
Yeah.
You improve the aesthetics tremendously.
Okay.
It refracts that light. It looks beautiful. It's
Yeah,
really
absolutely does. Then what price category was this in again?
cool. This one will bring you up to around 120, 110, something
Okay.
like that. So not inexpensive,
Mm-hmm.
but when you're ready to say, you know what, I like having my knife at the ready, I like having a good knife, I'm ready to spend some quality money on a quality piece of knife, this is one of those ones you're going to start looking at.
What's an outrageous price for you? Like, what level, money-wise, do you get where you're like, that knife is outrageous, I'm not buying it?
I have yet to come, I'm going to move these aside while I talk. I have yet to find a knife anywhere in the $300 to $400 category that has convinced me to buy it.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of where
So 300 is kind of like that ceiling where it's got to have good reasons.
and you know what? Even above 200, I start to question it. I start
Really?
to wonder how much I really need it or why I want that one.
Yeah.
Because you do reach a point where it's more like, vanity.
Yeah,
at that
or
point.
collectability, because I think something that's $200 I don't want to lose or accidentally take to the airport and they confiscate it.
Yes.
You know,
Yes, exactly.
all those kinds of things.
Exactly.
So I agree with you on that.
So there's the Sage 1 from Spyderco. Again, that's kind of one of the smaller knives, but definitely higher end in price.
Nice clip on there too. It's almost like a paper clip.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a fantastic wire clip on it.
Yeah.
Buries really deep. It's low profile when you're carrying it. It's really cool. And this one right here is from Southern Grind Knives. This is a company I've only discovered recently. And this one is called the Spidermonkey.
Okay.
This one comes in S35 VN, which is kind of related to S30V, but different. Then we also have carbon fiber scales on that one as well. You can feel that there's a bit different texture on that. They
Oh
treated
yeah, and
it
it's
a little
light.
differently.
That's I can, when you dropped it in my hand, it was lighter than I expected it to be. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I think it's maybe a 3 ounce or so knife, if that,
Okay.
and maybe a 3-inch blade as well.
Oh, okay. So how many ounces, once again, like where do you get to with ounces that you're like, well, yeah, that's not going in my pocket?
Probably for me,
That's nice.
yeah, it's hard to say, to draw an actual line there, but I start to question it when we're above 5 ounces or around the 5 ounce mark.
Okay.
I generally go considerably small. 3 ounces, 2 to 3 ounces is typically where I'm at for knives that I carry on an everyday basis. But if I'm looking at something I just think it's really cool and I gotta have it, then yeah, I'll kind of go around 5 ounces sometimes, maybe even a little more if it's really interesting.
But 7 to you is outrageous.
At that point I'm just like, why? You know? Why couldn't you have shaved off a few ounces here and there?
Right.
I think it's a little more than I need.
Okay.
But, yeah. So the Southern Grind Knives, Spidermonkey is a fantastic knife. It is way up there in price, $200 plus.
Okay.
But for me, I had to have it. I think it's beautiful.
I do. I think so too, man.
Yeah.
As soon as that fell in my hands, I was like, oh, that's nice.
It is really gorgeous. It's really good looking. And the pocket clip on it is not really long, so that means that you just got this tiny little bit kind of showing,
Yeah.
which is really nice. It's kind of a low profile, doesn't show itself, and I like that about it. Next is the Benchmade Mini Grip Tilian, and this is one with some special scales on it. And
Let's see what that.
go ahead and take a look at that.
That's interesting. It's almost like velvet.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's anodized aluminum,
Okay.
and it's very toughly anodized aluminum.
Oh, okay. So this can take a beating because it's a beautiful color.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
The name of the company that makes this, I'm going to have you put that in annotation right now.
Okay.
The actual acronym is escaping me right now.
Okay.
But they're beautifully done. They're not cheap. You're going to pay. I think you're spending $60 to $70 on the scales.
Oh, okay.
For the scales alone.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so the knife is about an $85 knife, and then you're spending another, $60 or $70 for the scales to improve the aesthetics of it.
Mm-hmm.
The standard version of the Mini Grip Tilian is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with the scales that come with it.
Okay.
But if you want to improve it for aesthetics and for a little bit of ergonomics, really, then these scales are great to go with.
Okay. So, and that's where a lot of the money that you're paying goes into that.
Yeah. For this one, again, if you're going to get the knife, it's about $85. Upgrading the scales would be another $70 or so.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but otherwise it's 154 cm steel, really good steel type that holds an edge a long time. And as far as, like I said, going with a small EDC knife that's a little more spendy, yeah, Mini Grip Tilian is one of the ones you're going to start with.
Okay.
Because It's still below that $100 threshold, but it's still a little bit up there.
Okay.
It's a quality knife though. And next, let's get into some of the higher end knives that are a little larger as well. So the first one I want to show you is this right here, the Benchmade Tilian.
The Benchmade Tilian. Okay.
Yeah. And we've actually got an unusual version of that here for you as well. The normal version of the Tilian has scales that sort of wrap around and are enclosed on the back there.
Oh, okay.
And they're actually, and they're not G10. They're made of a GTX, I think, is the name of the material.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got a little moisture on it, probably from the sweat from walking around with it all day.
Yeah.
But it is Florida after all.
Florida humidity.
Yep.
There is such a thing here still.
So this version of the knife has G10 scales, and it's got a blue G10 insert as well as these blue barrel spacers that are anodized.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just aesthetically beautiful. It's unusual from the standpoint of other
the color combination.
Griptilians. Yeah, it's not what you're going to find in most Griptilians, but this is one that they've released very recently that I think is really attractive, and so I had to pick it up.
Yeah, you know what I'm noticing about these? There's no coating on the blades.
That's true.
So
a lot of them do come with coatings though, so
Mm-hmm.
you can have that as an option. This one comes coated, that one comes coated, I think, and this one does as well.
Okay.
So if you prefer to have a coating, if maybe you live in a high moisture environment and you want to prevent rust on the surface of your knives, that's probably a smart thing to do.
Coating.
Yep.
Okay.
So there's the Benchmade Tilian. Once again, it's kind of in that higher price range and a little heavier duty as far as what kind of work it's going to get done. I also didn't mention the steel type, which is 20 CV. Don't have a ton of experience with it, but so far, man, it's got an outstanding edge on it, and it holds it pretty well too. Now this one is going to be a little bit lower in price as far as kind of the higher end larger knives. This is the Kershaw Auto Launch knife, and this is with CPM 154 steel. It's a USA made knife, and as you can tell there,
I like the sleek look of it. It's very streamlined.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And it is an auto lock, as you can tell.
Yeah.
So it's got that little plunger lock to it.
Okay, there you go. So that same.
Yep.
There you go.
That just fires it.
Yeah, nice.
And then they released several versions of this knife this year. The olive, anodized aluminum, and black was the one that really caught my eye. So
yeah, I like the stealth look of this.
Yep.
Also the blade, and this is probably the only one in there that's got a anodized. With the finish on it.
Oh yes, that's correct. All the other ones don't. So yeah, made in USA, real nice design. I did put a little lanyard on this one to help it extract from pocket a little easier, but yeah, otherwise it's just really attractive.
And what are we looking at price-wise on that?
I think it was somewhere in the $80 to $90 range.
Okay, not too bad.
So as far as a USA-made auto, it's not that bad. It could have been over 100. I could be mistaken, but still, that's not bad for a USA-made auto knife.
Right.
So that one really caught my eye.
Is it very available, or are these kind of tough? There are some knives I've noticed that I've liked, and they're just really tough
hard to
find.
get. Yeah, that's true. And the next one I'm going to show you kind of fits that list. This one is not too hard to find right now. They've been releasing it all year in different varieties and different colors.
Okay.
I think the standard version came with probably black scales and an uncoated blade, and then they started releasing it in all the other variations.
Very cool.
So there's that one. Lastly, this is one that's been a go-to knife for me for a long time.
Spyderco.
And that's the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. You don't have one of these, right?
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the Paramilitary 2.
Yeah, I think I've heard you talk about this quite often.
Yes.
And I do like the feel of that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's lightweight. So, and this is a favorite of yours.
Yes.
I think, right?
Absolutely. This one comes in as far as weight. I think it's still under 4 ounces. And the steel on it is S30V, which is just a fantastic steel. You have that same steel over here on the Sage. The G10, like you mentioned, and it's full flow-through design, so it's easy to clean, easy to maintain. It's got that great big thumb hole on it. It's got the compression lock, which is unusual, but also very nice. You press it here on the back, that releases it.
Okay.
Folds like that. You can deploy it in several methods using your thumb, just kind of bringing it like that.
Okay.
You can hold down that that compression lock and then kind of whip it out sometimes. I've done it before, I swear.
Flip the wrist.
Kind of flip it out like that if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spydercos are great. You can do this sort of thing as well.
Oh.
Flicking it out like that.
Very nice.
So I love the shape of it. I love the utility of it. I love the durability of it. I field tested a knife like this for Blade HQ, a different version of the Paramilitary 2. Put it through its paces very nicely out in the woods. Beat it up, really. and it just performed flawlessly and was just fantastic. Ever since then, it's been one of my go-to knives. Anytime I need something, really reliable to travel with, or, maybe I'm going someplace camping or something like that, and I just want a really reliable, tough folder, the Paramilitary 2 is one that I always take with me.
Very nice. Now, at this point, I'm going to bring in another Spyderco. I don't even know what Spyderco this is. You would know better than me. But I did get this from Anonymous Strange, my brother. So that's a little shout out to him.
Nice.
And he's a fan of Spyderco. And it seems to me like you're a fan of Spyderco.
I am a fan of Spyderco.
Yeah. What is that?
Benchmade.
Yeah.
This is the Shemp, I want to say Barong from Spyderco. I could be wrong on that name. But Ed Shemp makes some pretty interesting designs for Spyderco. Everything I've seen that he designs has a very unusual look to it.
Yeah.
And some real flair.
Yes. And Anonymous gave it to me for that reason, and he wanted me to have a nice knife, but, Lola Strange commandeered this knife from me.
Well,
so.
Hank, I think we can fix that problem for you today, because right now I'm gifting this to you.
What?
Yes.
Oh, get out.
The
Really?
Spyderco Paramilitary 2, like I said, is
nice.
one of my go-to knives. It's always been one of the ones that I just love. I've got an extra at home, so you don't have to worry about that.
Oh, thanks, Scout,
But,
man. That's really cool. I really appreciate that, man.
No,
Thank you.
absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
Thanks a lot, man. That's a cool
I wanted to
knife,
leave
yeah.
here with making sure you had a really good, reliable,
There you
tough
go.
knife.
Yeah.
And now I know that you absolutely do.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. That's really nice. You saved the best for last there.
There you go.
Awesome. You know what, man? I really want to thank you for coming out to the
Man, it's been
Hacienda.
my pleasure.
On behalf of Lola and myself, you are always welcome out here, man.
Hey, man, thank you very much.
Yeah. It's going real fast. The sun goes down quick here, so we're in nighttime mode. I think this is the first time I've been shooting a video out here at night. We've got some creatures flying around.
Yeah, unfortunately
Welcome
we got
to the
some
Florida
lights
swamp,
to do.
my friend.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
So-
It's been fun, and I really appreciate once again having me out. It's been just a blast meeting you guys.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for coming.
All right.
Okay, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check out the Late Boy Scouts, okay? Subscribe to his channel and tell him that you heard about him on the Hank Strange situation. You know how I end these?
Something like this.
Peace out.
Peace out. See y'all.
Good stuff.